Okay, I had a few of you write a little note. This is I forgot how to simplify. Um, Basically, it's simply simplifying means you're just going to do what it says here. I'm going to add all these together. But I need to be careful. Some of you did things like adding these two together. And you said something like 2a plus 3b equals 5ab. And that is an absolutely false statement. Because if I have 2 rabbits and 3 apples, I can't have 5 rabbit apples. It just doesn't make sense. 2a plus 3b is 2a plus 3b, and I can't simplify that any more than it already is. Besides, 5ab means 5 times a times b. That's very different than 2 times a plus 3 times b. I just lost my addition sign. It's gone. Can't mix those things. That doesn't work. And some of you, I just scribbled that out. Said, no, 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 don't do that. Didn't mean I was angry. I just scribbled it out. So when we look at this, what we want to look for is like terms. For instance, I have a 2a here. I have a negative 4a here. So many of you put 6. 2a minus 4a is a negative 2a, folks. I also have a positive 3b and a positive 5b. That's plus 8b. Positive 3b, positive 5b. Remember, when I'm moving these things around in their little blocks, I have to take the sign with them. So I have it. So the answer to this one, the simplified problem here, is a negative 2a plus 8b. So many of you put 2a minus 8b because you saw that minus, made your combination, and just moved the minus to the middle because it's in the middle. No, you have to pick that negative up with the negative 4a and move it with the negative 4a. That's how it works. 2a minus 4a is a negative 2a, 3b plus 5b is 8b, and this is our simplified problem. This one here, a couple of you even wrote that you can't simplify this, but the truth is you can very much simplify it. I have 2 p's here, and I have 3 p's inside here. So I can combine those somehow. However, I have these parentheses in the way, and I've got to take care of those first. Remember, in order of operations, parentheses comes first. So I've got to take care of what's inside those parentheses. So let's get rid of those for a minute. To get rid of these parentheses, I can't do what's inside them, but I can multiply everything by a positive 1. Positive 1 times 2p is just 2p. Positive 1 times a negative 7q is a negative 7q. Positive 1 times a negative 6r is a negative 6r. And here's where it gets tricky. I have a negative 1. I'm subtracting everything inside here from this. So I have to distribute that negative 1 to everything inside the parentheses. A negative 1 times 3p is a negative 3p. A negative 1 times a negative 4q is positive 4q. A negative 1 times a negative r is a positive r. A lot of you, what you did is you immediately started combining like terms and doing this type of thing, and you didn't think about pulling them out of the parentheses first. They're trapped in there until you free them by either multiplying by a positive 1 or a negative 1 or whatever's out in front. Once you've done that, then they're free to go. Okay? It's just like this simplification problem we did right at the beginning of the test. We multiplied these by the stuff that was in front to free them from their parentheses. The only difference is that what you're looking at here is a 1 and a negative 1 in front. But it's the same concept. Okay. All right. So take a look at that. And now we can combine like terms. 2p minus 3p is a negative p. Once again, moving these blocks around, we have to take the signs with them. Negative 7q plus 4q is a negative 3q. And a negative 6r plus r is a negative 5r. And if you're not sure how I got those Draw a number line. And then on that number line, rewind this and watch this while you work with the number line and move in the negative direction and the positive direction as I talk. Okay? This next simplification is very, very, very much like the first one we did here. This is 8th grade, I'm sorry. This next simplification is very much like the one I showed you there. I have to distribute 4 times 2n is 8m. 4 times a negative 1 is a negative 4. I'm confusing 8th grade and 7th grade, and I apologize. 8 times 4m is a positive 12m, and a positive 8 times 1 is a positive 8. Some of you stopped right there. You're like, okay, we're done. This is where a lot of you made the mistake of forgetting that the m's were there, and you just added all this stuff together and came up with some number like 20 or something. But you have to remember those m's are there. Another mistake you made was 4 plus 2 is 6, and a lot of you put 6m there. No, this is multiplication. Distribute using multiplication. Okay. Now, oops, that's a 3, so that's a 3. This looked like an 8 with that q in the way, but 3 times 1 is 3. I apologize. 8m plus 12m is 20m. A negative 4 plus 3 is a negative 1, and I got a lot of people who put a 7 here. But a negative 4 plus 3 is just a negative 1. Once again, pull that number line out and go over it as I speak. Okay? Simplifying. This was just combining like terms. This one was distributing the 1 or the negative 1 through to get rid of the parentheses. This one was the same thing as this. We're just distributing a 4 and an 8 through and then combining like terms as well. Go back through that. Use a number line to follow what I'm doing.